Well, if you feel that humidity in the air, guys, and the terrifying sound of Kalashnikovs, you are in fact back in Indochina, aka Vietnam. We are, of course, continuing our campaign here in the Operational Art of War 4. For those of you that have not seen the other videos, I would highly recommend that you click the playlist down below and get yourself familiarized with this series, because we've gone through a lot, and I hope that we keep on going. Now, we've agreed that we've got to get back to Haiphong. We've actually managed to do a really good job at pushing back a tremendous amount of enemy units, or destroying a bunch of enemy units that were initially attacking the city, but a lot of them got past our lines. They broke through, and we want to make sure that they're not a threat in the future. So I'm actually going to be moving some units forward just to go ahead and actually surround one of these enemy units, and we'll plan an attack here. Hopefully we can wipe them out pretty quickly. We also have CFEO armored vehicles assisting us, and I want to thank the user that let us know what the CFEO stands for. So this is the Colonial Expeditionary Forces, which makes sense. You know, in this case, this is a French colony, or at the time it was a French colony of Vietnam. Now, this is the major army we're facing right here, the 818, and that's the one I've got to do something about. I don't know what else to do, but try and send our units back as quickly as possible. And we might not be able to get there that quickly, actually. In some cases, we will probably be able to bring in some support like that, but I think in most cases, these guys are going to take at least another turn or two to get to the center of the city there. Let's go ahead and group move these guys. Okay, hey, that's good. Hey, that's great. We got some armored vehicles. If they can attack, that's going to help tremendously. We've also got some paratroopers here, but I'd actually rather they hold this area. I think they've got a pretty important job to do at the moment. So, for the most part, we're pulling back into the city. You know, before we sort of did a little counterattack, a very effective counterattack, actually. I was really surprised. But one thing that people seem to learn in the Vietnam War, whether it be the French or the Americans, is that, you know, you can kill hundreds of thousands of the VC. They will keep coming. You know, they really will. And it just seems like anytime we do a tremendous amount of damage to their army, they somehow break through. So it can get really frustrating. Let's definitely attack over here on the southern front. And we also want to take a look at Saigon in the south and make sure everything's going fine. Things in Saigon seem to be pretty much under our control, but I always like to be 100% sure. And we can still call in some bomber support. It's just not going to be as effective as we'd like it to be. It's going to be 50% of the effectiveness, essentially. All right, guys, wish us the best of luck. We are going for the attack. You know, another reason is this unit, number one, is a massive army, and it's within our city. We can't have that. We need to make absolutely sure that we throw everybody into this fight and hopefully beat them. Likelihood of success is poor. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But we've got everybody selected for this attack. The more the merrier, honestly. If we could bring in even more people, that would be amazing. I'm actually going to group move with these guys and hit this guy in the hills over here. I think we might be able to pull off a decent strike. And now we'll head south. Now, it was actually interesting. Somebody mentioned in the comments, and I thought it was a really good point, that we've been trying to basically defend this city, and we've done a good job, except for this part right here, at defending it for the most part. But the coast where we have been beaten and where we get a lot of Viet Minh activity, especially from the Da Nang and Hue, the imperial capital, you know, we want to probably take those areas back. We want to probably do something to clear the coast. Because he made a good point. Basically, having the inlands full of Viet Minh, it's not going to affect us nearly as much as having the coast full of them, because we can't really move anybody anywhere in terms of moving support from the south to the north or anything like that. Now, we are moving on this stronghold here, Ca Mau, and if we can take Ca Mau, we are certainly going to lessen Viet Minh activity here in the south. Excuse me. But despite the fact that we're lessening Viet Minh activity here in the south, there wasn't really much that they were doing here anyway. Yeah, it really wasn't too strong, and we're just, you know, patching up a very small problem, honestly. Let's see. We'll keep attacking that unit. We've been attacking this unit with our armored vehicle for so damn long, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. All right, let's end the turn, guys. Wish us luck. Pour la France, pour le pays. Come on, boys. Alright, that's our push in Kamau, and yes, we've taken Kamau, guys. We have liberated Kamau, a southern swampy town. It's a pretty big town in the south of Vietnam, but it's in a very swampy area. So not exactly a huge strategic victory, but a few points. Everything counts, right? Alright, that major attack is what I really am looking for. We sent in so many forces to attack, but they have so many men there. It's going to be tough to wipe this army out. Alright, very good. Okay, let's take a look here. So this was our southern attack. Pretty good attack on the enemy. Again, not a tremendous amount of enemy troops to begin with, but we came out of that with almost no casualties at all, and you could see that we've got a pretty good amount of weapons here, especially support equipment, which I'm loving. The medium MGs, the mortars, the artillery, that's making a huge difference on the battlefield. Now, what about over here? This is the large army, and we actually did manage to do some serious damage here to them. We destroyed a lot of their units, mainly infantry units, as well as a few heavy MGs and mortars. But I'll be honest with you, this is taking place in an urban area, and this is why the enemy is actually managing to withstand a lot of our attacks here. They're managing to destroy a lot of our guys, too, in sort of what could be labeled as guerrilla warfare within the urban center. And probably that's why we've lost some ABCs, some half-tracks. I'm sure there are guerrilla tactics used to take them out, some ambushes, etc. Now, over here, our Paris Chasseurs unit, and yes, there are still Chasseurs, just like the U.S. Army still has air cav, or cavalry, but of course it's air cav, and they completely wiped out this group of Viet Minh. There weren't a lot to begin with, but it's always good to see that. It shows that the fight is continuing. Now, liberating Kamau, again, I'm pretty happy about that. We haven't had a victory in a long time, so it's something that we could call a distinct victory, and this place is absolutely worth some points. So I kind of like this area, actually. I kind of like the fact that we've taken this area. I'm not sure if I want to keep attacking the guerrilla units. I might just wait right now and be patient. What are these guys? Okay, these are more expeditionary force units, but they cannot move. So I guess they're just stationary, essentially. Kind of there to hold the line. And if we could break out of here, Vinh would definitely be a target that I would consider attacking. Let's go in with our PT boats. They've done a great job before. Maybe they could do a great job again. There's not many Viet Minh there, so I think we'll be able to knock them out. And it looks like that southern side, guys, might be open pretty soon. That would be great. We can maybe take half this army and start pushing down the coast. We'll call that Operation Coastal Assault, because I can't think of anything more original, but maybe you can. And it looks like that part in the center, at least, is still under our control. Chances are we can't attack again since we already attacked this turn, but I hope that we did some serious damage to that army. We can't actually even see their numbers, but what we can do, and this is great, is we can actually bomb them with our ships, because now they're right on the coast. So let's do it, and we should be able to do some damage there. Every little bit counts. Unfortunately, these guys at the north are not going to be able to move back, but I'd love to move some guys back to Hongdae just to make sure it's absolutely defended. Alright, boys, keep falling back. It's not a retreat, we're French. It is totally normal. I could actually bring them even closer. You can see we do have roads in the city, but clearly, due to all the fighting, all the urban chaos, movement is still complicated here. A lot of these roads, bridges, etc. have probably been destroyed, not to mention that the terrain itself is difficult. It's very mountainous over here around the city, and there are a bunch of lakes, rivers, etc. just going through this entire area. So we can kind of understand why this is a tough area to fight in. It looks like we can carry out another attack here. Why not? Got some armored vehicles. But it would be a good idea to bring in some support. So I'm going to actually send some troops forward. Our ligne de l'Atre for the expeditionary forces. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they are going to be able to do anything really here. Alright, well, we'll at least hold the line here. And let's attack that engineer unit as well. The last thing we want the enemy to have are engineers to build bridges, fix things. No, that's not going to happen. Ataque! All right, boys. I mean, this is why I'm recommending, if you guys have not seen the start of this series, please check out the playlist, because if you saw what we were facing initially, as opposed to what we're facing now, it's incredible. We've wiped out so many of the enemy positions. We've done a great job, quite frankly, all things considered. Really, the place we've done the worst job is on the coast, where we've just been totally overrun. But here in the cities, I feel pretty safe. And let's see how our battleship did. Look at that, man. A few battleships firing. We managed to wipe out some units. It might not seem like a lot, but to lose absolutely no men in the attack, I mean, that's amazing, you know? Or no ships, obviously. And still to damage the enemy, that's always going to help. So we're going to turn it over to the Viet Minh. Let's see what they do. And we are in March 31st of 1955, I believe. Or is it 1956 now? In 1951, pardon me. There we go. So I believe we've been fighting for about a year. If somebody wants to go back to our original start date and sort of take a look at where we are now, you can let us know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate that. So obviously the enemy's pushing through the mountains there. They absolutely know that they can conquer us there. And it looks like they're also getting a renewed push in the south. I don't think it's going to last. I think we're going to be able to fight it off. But it's scary to see that. Obviously to see that the enemy is so desperate to get at our throats and specifically get inside the city, because that pretty much means the end of the war. I mean, they've already controlled Haiphong for a few weeks, and that's terrible. Oh my goodness, look at that army, guys, the 819. So they've got these massive armies streaming in from what looks like Long Son, but could be the border up here. We just don't know. They're sending a lot of people down, and that is a problem, to say the least. Now, this Ligne de Latre has held out here against numerous attacks. We can't really get them back. They don't have any movement points, but hopefully they can keep the enemy entertained for quite a while. And either way, they are heroes. Okay, wow. Massive Viet Minh attacks here. You can see the casualty loss. In this case, enemy loss refers to actually us. For instance, here, they did a land attack. And look at that, man. Serious damage to our forces. And we did some serious damage to them too, but the difference there and the value of the units they destroyed, like this amphibious APC, it's much higher than what they lost. So they absolutely came out on top in that attack. Although in most of the attacks, the casualties seem to be pretty standard in the Indochina or Vietnam War, with just small skirmishes killing a few of our men or a few platoons, and then them, of course, stopping the attack. So if you guys have any tips now for how we should proceed, let me know. I really am curious to see what you guys would like to do, and we always try to put those tips into practice. The coastal assault is a great one, but that's going to take a while. I'm thinking at least 3 or 4 more turns at the minimum to even begin moving, honestly, because we still have to beat these guys off, and they're not an easy opponent, honestly. Ooh, we got some reinforcements. That's always a good bit of news, but I want to see if there are any news reports. Come on. The game is never this slow. We're just getting a little bit of lag here. This is pretty rare with the Operation War 4. Okay, there we go. It's actually a draw now. It was an overwhelming defeat, but it's actually gone back to a draw. So we have some hope. We'll have to see how that works. Hold on, it'll work, boys. It'll work. So there we go. I love this. So we do have a news summary, and CFO captures Vien Chau. CFO captured Phu Lai. We captured Ca Mau, of course, and the Viet Minh captured Dien Dien Hu Van. Now we're on April 7th of 1951. This war is moving along quite quickly. It really is. And I'm not sure what the EEV stands for. I want to see what that stands for, because Haiphong being captured, I'm assuming it's basically the will to fight for the Viet Minh. That's what I think it is, because when they take a major city like that, they pretty much show everybody that they are down for any sort of fight at all. So let's hope we're ready for them. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and exit. Sorry about this. Again, never had this issue. We'll just save and get out of here so we don't lose this. Catch you on the next one, guys.